Alright, so in this video what I'm going to show you is how to actually set up Google Analytics. And so the importance of Google Analytics, what exactly is it? Well, Google Analytics, very simply put, it is able to track kind of the traffic that you get on your website, track users, engagement, track many different things. So basically, the most important thing is, well, obviously, what can it do for you? It can provide traffic information, right? So it can show you how many unique visitors you get, how many page views you get, things like that, right? But I think more importantly than the amount of traffic you get, it's important to know how much traffic you get, but at the end of the day, how much does that really matter? What really matters is how you can improve upon the traffic that you do have, because ultimately you want more traffic or you want better traffic, right? So some of the information that it gives you is things like bounce rate, how your users actually acquired, website duration, geolocation, and daily trends. So I want to talk very briefly about each of these. Is that bounce rate is the amount of or percentage of times people go on the first page and they just leave, right? So it doesn't have to necessarily be your home page. It can be any page. For example, if they found your blog post through Twitter and then they just close it, that would be considered, a bounce, and that would increase your bounce rate, right? So you want a lower bounce rate simply because that means a lower percentage of people leave after the first view, right? And acquisition is simply, where do they come from, right? Are they coming from a lot from Google searching, email, social media, other websites, things like that? And that's something that would be very beneficial for you, simply because if you know how you acquire the data, maybe that's a place where you can push that even more and try to improve upon that even more because you've been successful in it. Or since the other ones are not as successful, how can you bring those to be better, right? So twofold in that sense. Website duration. Well, that's very good, because if they're on your website for a longer amount of time, well, that not only means that what you have to say is good, but that also tells Google that what you have to say is good. So having a very low, the amount of duration that a person stays on your website, if it's very low, that's going to definitely be bad overall, not just for you, but also for Google, right? So you want to try to increase that as much as possible. And the only way to know that is through actual Google Analytics or some type of other analytics tool. Geolocation is important simply because, well, if the majority of your traffic is coming from a specific location, whether it is people that are close by to you or in a certain country, things like that, that can definitely spark kind of what you may want to talk about or what may interest them, things like that. You can kind of target what you talk about either on a blog or on a website based on the traffic that you do get. It's all about adaptation. And daily trends, I think that this is important as well, because it can tell you a number of things. For example, some of my websites in the past, what I noticed was that, and this may be for everything, this may just be for the specific kind of category that I was in of education, was that I saw a lot of views during Monday through Thursday, but then in Friday through Sunday, the views just dropped. And so what I decided to do was, every time I was going to post a new blog entry, I was going to post it during those Monday through Thursday, because that's when people, I felt as though, were really looking at the website, and I thought that it would just increase the views much better. And I was also able to find out when was the best time, or when was the highest amount of traffic that people were really coming to the website. And so that was how analytics was able to help me in that regard. And there's other things much more complex that you could use with Google Analytics, and actually looking more at much more finer or more detailed things on specific pages. But I'm not going to talk too much about that, right? And so, like I mentioned before, which posts are they finding the most? So you can kind of target or adapt to write more of those types of posts. And it can overall just teach you how to direct or improve your website. All right, so now that we kind of know the importance or what Google Analytics can actually do for us, what we're going to actually look at now is how to set it up. So what I did was just create a test account for this demo website that we have, fill out the information, and click Get Tracking ID. And so you're just going to accept the conditions, and it'll give you some type of code, some type of tracking code. And so once it loads up, we're just going to copy and paste it. So it's right down here. We're just going to copy and paste it. And there's a number of ways or a number of places that we can put it in. Right. The first place that we'll notice is, since we're using the Genesis theme, what we can do is, instead of changing anything, all we do is just paste it in here. Right, so this is the header and footer scripts. Enter your scripts or code you'd like to output to the header, and we can just save it right there. Right, so we would save settings. Likewise, what we could also do is we could also go into something if you don't have the Genesis theme, where would you actually put it? So what we would do is go into Appearance, and then we would go into the editor. And what we're going to do is just put this code into the actual theme files of our website, right? So we're going to go into the main theme file of Genesis, not our child theme. And we can either put it in the header.php, or we can put it at the footer.php. So let's just put it in the header. The footer is right up there, and we're just going to paste it at the very bottom, right? We're just going to paste it at the very bottom and save it in there. So in order to actually check that everything is working, what we're going to do is just go back to home, and we'll see that our website's right here, and you click on all website data. And I think that the best way to check it is one of two ways. Is you can just wait till the end of the day. You can wait till the end of the day at 12 a.m. and they'll give you, you can just click on audience and overview, and they'll show you just the information for your website for that specific day. But another way to check, if you want to check right away, is you go into real time, right? It can actually show you real-time traffic. And so if we notice here, since we are physically logged in on our website, it shows active users on the site is 1, because that's ourselves, right? So that's a good way to check it. If you have a lot of traffic to begin with, then you'll see more people right here. But since it's a demo website, the only person who's going to be using it is us when we teach you right now. So that's kind of how you can check to make sure that Google Analytics is set up correctly.